Morning. Today is Wednesday, December 8, 2021, and this is the Urban Talk Radio 103.5 FM WNHH, where you will hear conversation, information, education, inspiration, and motivation from the American urban perspective. I am your host, Kingsley. Ossei, my co-host, Shafiq, is not in the studio right now. Today on Urban Talk Radio, you can join the conversation on Facebook at Bold Minds and Twitter at Bold Minds. Also on my Facebook page, Kingsley, Ossei. You can also stream this show on your smartphone or computer by logging on to newhavenindependent.org. Today we have a very, very, very special guest. He goes by the name Jermaine of KULTJAH Designs. He's also known as Jazz, straight out of Norwalk, Connecticut. What's poppin', bro?
Peace, peace. How you?
I'm blessed, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, real good.
First of all, how you getting through this pandemic?
The best way I can. You know. I mean, we built the last, so we gotta adapt to any situations. So it's just another one.
All right. I hear that accent, man. You know, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from here. Here. I was born in Norwalk, and raised. You know, I lived in Virginia. You know, the Norfolk area for a while. But I've always been in Tri-State.
You seem to adapt in the Caribbean culture, Afrocentric Caribbean culture. Was that any background in that?
Well, I mean, we all from Africa. Everybody's from Africa. White, black, Chinese, everybody's from Africa. So it's in our blood, you know. So it's in me naturally.
That's what's up, man. So let me do a better introduction and tell you guys about Jermaine, a friend I've known for a very, very, very long time. Jermaine's career as an artist began in the form of graffiti or street art and has evolved into a wide spectrum of medium, including works on canvas, photography, fashion design, mural painting, screen printing, and graphic designs. Through years of formal training and experience as an artist of the people, Jermaine has developed a unique style that combines social awareness, spirituality, mythology, and abstract language in a way that intrigues all who view his work. Living through the philosophy that art is for the people's eyes and minds, Jermaine's work is a reflection of his constant critique of the world around him, fused with thought-provoking concepts and imagery. His work has been exhibited at Westport Art Center, the Center of Contemporary Print, UBS Stanford, Norwalk Art Under the Bridge, Art Space Bridgeport, Cottages and Garden magazines, the FC Beat magazine, as well as numerous gallery shows. As co-founder and head designer at KULTJAH Designs, an independent clothing label, Jermaine and his team of artists create limited edition garments and accessories that draw from the rich history of African and Asian textile craftsmanship and the raw energy of graffiti culture and rugged design and rugged lifestyle. Was started out as an outlet to introduce artistic ideas and graphic concepts to urban fashion, has grown into a well-respected and sought-after brand with international clientele, which can be found in select boutiques and specialty shops throughout the U.S., Japan, Europe, and the Caribbean. Currently, Jermaine produces his fine art and culture clothing label at his studio in the Firing Circuit Artist Building in Norwalk City, and is a teaching artist, curator, and active member of several artist collectives in the tri-state area. Well, today's topic is actually getting into the rich history of KULTJAH Designs. We've been seeing you around, and sometimes, you know, we see people doing the thing, but we really don't understand what it is that they are really doing. I've been privileged to know you for a very long time, and what culture designs have, become. It's not something that just happened overnight. I
No.
mean, you have grinded this thing from the very bottom. I've been to your spot in Norwalk from day one. Um,
Catching wreck.
Definitely during the people start to know me as Connecticut Against Violence, but nah, it was catching wreck, and we still catching wreck. Now, take
Yeah.
us through this journey of yours.
Mhm. I mean, like I said in my bio, we came up in the late '80s. I'm a '80s baby, so by the late '80s, early '90s, or actually mid '80s, as hip hop culture, graffiti, breaking, b-boying, DJing, all that was coming out of the Bronx. We were right here. So we're really like the North Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So as all that was developing, we were catching it. You know what I'm saying? So from Mr. Magic days to Red Alert to Beat Street, all that, as all that stuff was coming out and becoming more commercial. I mean, we were catching it before it became commercial, but as it was becoming more commercial, we were right on that wave. From the fashion, like I said, graffiti, painting on clothes, all that inspired us. So as part of the culture, we just adapted to it. We started taking our ideas and putting it on clothing. I mean, I came up as a break dancer, you know what I'm saying? So we grew up in the projects. I'm from Rudin Court in Norwalk, so we come up, from the era of block parties and everybody being outside, having fun, dancing, cats on the mic, freestyling, rhyming. So all of that is really in our blood, in our DNA, so me really being inspired by graffiti, as an artist, graffiti was, one of the things that sort of sparked me to want to start doing art, just seeing tags, going back and forth, to the city, riding it through the Bronx. Remember going through the Brooklyn and across Bronx, that was like you was actually like driving through a gallery. You see, pieces and tags and everything, on the highways. And then once you got off the highway, you see, burners everywhere. You see the subways and see everything. So that was influential. And then really when Beat Street, came out, that, you had Graffiti Rock, TV, like that one episode that everybody saw. But through that, Hot Tracks and all of the early, video, shows and stuff like that was inspirational, so that caused us to want to, become artists and start doing graffiti, But when Beat Street came out, that and a book called Subway Art, by Henry Chalfant and Martha Cooper. When we got a hold of that book, just stumbled upon it in the library and really got to see, like graffiti pieces and international stuff. We want to be writers and artists. So that sparked us to want to get into doing art. And then from that, during that time, a lot of people wanted to get, their jean jackets done, or on their lead jeans, like painting they name down the side of the jeans, or a sweatshirt or something. So we started making a couple dollars just doing that as a young kid, 12, 13. You make a little piece of money doing art and what you love. It's inspirational. You know what I'm saying? So that was really like the genesis of it. And then going into like the early 90s, 90, 91. With just the explosion of consciousness through hip hop, from, BDP, Public Enemy, I mean, Melly Mel, everybody was kicking consciousness,
Definitely.
but it became a little bit more, political, and the focus became a little bit more solidified, with groups coming out, speaking consciousness and being about, something specifically, having a voice, through hip hop. So, and then even with that, within that, it sparked us to want to start, putting more into our art and being more conscious about our art, and back then, we was listening to all types of music. We listened to hip hop. I listened to Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley, Led Zeppelin, everything. We were just, everything was just really experimental,
Right.
And just like, everybody was just sort of growing mentally, but still consciously. So myself, my brothers, my partner, John, we had a couple other people, a cat named Sweet, from Norwalk, my man Dame, he goes by, Chef Damon Day now. You know, it was a collective of us that vibe together. You know, so we started putting ideas together, creating, you know, clothing and stuff, and it just sort of took off from there. You know, the name Culture itself, you know, once again at that time, you know, everybody sort of being conscious and wanting to, you know, have a name or something that represented them. The name Culture came out of the word culture. You know, we were, you know, at that time strongly inspired by Rastafarians. You know, we used to hang out, you know, in the dread blocks and be out there, you know, reasoning with them all day. And like, you know, we changed our diets and we started growing dreads. So, you know, everything we were doing reflected, you know, our minds, you know, so the word culture sort of encompassed everything that we were about, you know, from the art to, you know, our style to everything, you know, so that was a good, you know, definition of what we were doing. So that's how that name came out. And from there, we just, you know, we started building.
I'm very familiar with the names you dropped and you know, the journey. Shouts to Dim and Day. I just called Day a couple of weeks ago and extended an invitation. He is doing phenomenal things out there. I mean, I'm seeing he posted that one picture at Rikers Island of his food truck with the line wrapped around, and I'm like, yo, dude, like you know, a lot of time, you know, in our community, we are so good at, you know, seeing people not doing well or getting at their weak point and, you know, beating on them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of picking up the phone or just telling them, yo, bro, I like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
For each 10 people that's beating on you or hating on you, it doesn't hurt for that one person to put that battery pack in your back and say, look, man, ignore that 10 that's beating on you. I see what you're doing. I'm inspired by it, and I'm, you know, I encourage you. So yeah, I did give him a shout, and that's because you know, I'm very familiar with Day. You know, very good musician. I was a, you know, very good supporter of his music, and you know, so
he comes from our tribe. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, as we were developing, you know, it's multiple people that we came in contact with or that we grew up with, and that was our movement. You know, it's like you had to be about something in those days. You know what I'm saying? And then once you instill that, you know, in a person or in yourself, then it carries on. Hopefully, with, you know, through your life. You know.
And shout out to DJ Groove. And when you said 91, you know, I was at WXCI with, you know, with Norwalk's own DJ Billy Bush. So,
Billy.
We were very big supporters of, you know, every artist out of Norwalk. RIP to what's his name?
Dolo.
You know, Dolo used to come hang out with us at WXCI. So yeah, man, you know, you guys have been doing it, and it's like you said something that a lot of time we don't realize the advantages of us living on that 95 line, living in the tri-state and living on that 95 line when we could just jump up and go. So when people say I'm from Bronx, I'm from Brooklyn, yeah, we hear you. But living in Connecticut, being on that 95 line, it was nothing for us to go to the Fever. It was it was nothing at all.
No, and we was there, and a lot of times, you know, a lot of people don't recognize, but a lot of times we still influence a lot of people. I got peoples in Brooklyn and people in the Bronx that we still brought some style to them. Y'all, New York is cool and we all peoples, but we still got our own flavor out here. We go about it, you know, a little bit different. So we on the map, you know.
Well, for some of us, when you know, when we was in our prime, you know, we put Connecticut in our back, and we went and we represented where we were from, even if we had to take an ass whooping, just because it's just 2-3 of us. Remember me and Billy Bush and a few others, just a couple of others, Wan Kun, just a couple of others. We went to every music convention in the country, and we didn't act like we were from New York.
Nah. When you go to Jack the Rapper, go to all that stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. And when they seen us, they're like, there goes them Connecticut people. It'd be like 4 or 5 of us, and that was all good, you know.
Yeah. Same thing with us. Like when we started doing trade shows, like we used to go to, you know, Vegas every 6 months for Magic. You know what I'm saying? Then, you know, it's an international trade show. Boom, you go out there, you get your accounts and stuff like that. And it's the same thing. You got people from all over the world, really. But you go out there and you fly your flag. You know what I mean?
So we got my co-host Shafiq is in the studio now. What's up, Shafiq? Can't hear you.
Good morning. Yeah, you hear me now.
Good morning.
Peace. How you doing?
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Did you have your coffeeology yet?
No, man. I'm getting ready to sneak away in a minute. Soon as I do this, I'm gonna get coffee.
You need to stay retired of everything.
Oh man, I gotta have coffee, man. Coffee come from Africa.
Yeah, you're right. Ethiopia, matter of fact.
Yeah, people don't know that. They think coffee come
right.
from Colombia and Dunkin' Donuts. Come from Africa, man. Everything come from Africa. Kingsley, even you came from Africa, Kingsley.
You ain't gotta remind me. I remind myself every day.
You know what I'm saying?
It's right behind me.
Came over here.
You see that
he
picture?
came over here. Listen, came over here and got excited. He don't want to leave now.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
Look, I do want to leave.
You don't want to leave.
Y'all keep running to the Capitol with them skinheads. I'm out of here, bro.
Listen, you don't want to leave, man. You love America. You love it.
Trust me, it's a life. Man. It's a hell of a life in Africa. This is just an opportunity, man. We ain't trying to be here for the rest of our life, bro.
How long you trying to be here for?
Trust me, I just got to say, we ain't trying to be here for the rest of our life.
How long, man?
That's all I got to say. I'm inspired by my dad, who came here, lived the American dream, and bounced. You know, he went to sleep at home. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. You know.
Well, I'm going to go back to Africa and start buying stuff.
Yeah, it's big, especially Ghana. Ghana is big right now. I mean, as far as just the direct pipeline.
Ghana is very, 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 very.
Kingsley don't like Ghana, though. That's not his favorite country.
We just got to take care of the Chinese people, man. We just got to know how.
Kingsley don't like China. I mean, Ghana. I heard that you like Nigeria or something like that.
Chill out. We bleed the red, gold, green.
Wow.
Rita Mali went to Ghana in the very early stages and never looked back. You know, who else is in Ghana? It's a bunch of people in Ghana, man. And I always try to remind you that Nas and Damian Marley recorded Distant Relatives in Ghana, in the Ghana African state of mind.
We're gonna do the Ghana test.
You ever heard that album?
Who look like they're more from Ghana, me or Kingsley?
Have you ever heard that Distant Relative album, Nas and Damian Marley?
Yeah, it's a banger. It's a banger.
Shafiq, I've been listening to it. Every time I say Nas, I drive him crazy, but it's what it is.
No, I like Nas. I give Nas some I got off of him. I got off of him for you, Kingsley. I got off him for you.
So anyway, Shafiq, I sent you Jazz bio, man. Jazz is I'm calling him Jazz, but it's also Jermaine. Jermaine is doing a lot of good things. I see he's ventured his way into Bridgeport. He's in Bridgeport hard, and which is a good thing.
Well, I mean, I got people from Bridgeport. Like I might be more Bridgeport than Norwalk.
I know. It really,
I mean, because that's where the people's at. Unfortunately, just based on the politics and economics, everybody don't move to Bridgeport. So you go to Bridgeport, and it's like I'm in Norwalk, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And Ansonia and up that way. So it's where my people's at.
It's whoever embraces you, though. You know, it's you are part of the hip hop culture, and the hip hop culture, it's just what it is. It's whoever embraces you. It's people from New York come to Connecticut and get it braids and pop off in Connecticut before they go. So it's just what it is. Shafiq, you got any question for Jazz?
No, I'm just listening, man. I remember that era with the painted clothes when you mentioned the airbrush. I remember the airbrush. Airbrush to get you an airbrush jean jacket. I was trying to get my guest jacket airbrush back then. Had the leather on it, and I was like, I love that. You know what I mean? So no, listen, I'm all for the new stuff. There's a brother that I want to connect you with, Harvey Fair. He actually is working on making hats and stuff. We're gonna try to get all of y'all to link y'all up so that y'all can just come up with whatever it is that y'all need to build.
Yeah,
I think it's a good industry. I definitely think it's a good industry. I mentioned a thing about Africa only because we need to try to, if a brother like you need textiles or something like that, whatever can happen to make your costs be low, and actually get you into a manufacturer state. Not trying to tell you what to do, but manufacture, we need to manufacture stuff. It's good to buy clothes at Walmart, but the reality is, if you buy a good pair of jeans, and they could last you for 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? I got suits that are older than Kingsley, at least. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, people just don't really buy clothes. They last long.
Yeah,
they last long is my point. So somebody could buy something from you, and they could hold on to it for about 5 to 10 years, and depending on what it's like, they'll probably even pass it down to their kids. So, you know.
I mean, or better. I mean, I've been in the game, you know, like I said, for years. I mean, we've gone through a lot of different stages, from, you know, the manufacturing through having, you know, stuff contacts with overseas.
I think he came on. I think he came on a little late, so he probably didn't know the fact that you have a clothing line already has been popping. So let's elaborate on the culture.
Can we see it? Can we see? You got? Why you don't have it on, man? Why you
I got a question. This is my main logo right here.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
And you could go to KULTJAH.com, you know, and you can pull that up. But I mean, but even to add on to what you were saying, you know, we've been through a lot of different stages, and just, you know, from being in the industry, seeing how, you know, one, manufacturing has changed, two, building brands has changed, three, investments in production has changed. You know, I mean, a lot of things have gone from, okay, people think, okay, I want to start a brand, let me automatically get manufacturing and start producing 10,000 of this, 10,000 of that. That model is obsolete. You know, nowadays people are really focusing on independent, sort of small, you know, collectible, hard to find brands, you know, and building a brand so it has longevity. You know, so it's not about just mass production, at least from my angle anymore. Like you said, if you want some stuff, then go to Walmart and they'll produce all that, you know, whatever. But it's still about building a brand that has longevity and that has a following of people that appreciate it. And sometimes, in order to do that, you have to keep your stuff limited. You don't want to put so much stuff out. You want to have, you know, limited edition of this and stuff that's really selective. So not everybody has it, but then people appreciate then people appreciate it more. You know what I'm saying? So that also helps, because now it's not about just going to the factories. Like even in, you know, where we saw in the 90s, everybody come out with a clothing line, Sean John, Fubu, whoever, whatever. And then, like I said, you go to the trade shows, you know, in Vegas, and that's all you had was like factory people and like, you know, factorer people that, you know, how you have investors that, okay, I'll give you, you know, 10 million, boom. And then we got a factory that's going to produce all your jeans. So the next thing you know, you're just flooding the market with just all this product. But one, you know, the investor is making most of the money, then the factories are making most of the money. And a lot of people sold themselves short and took deals where they wasn't making no money, you know what I'm saying, really, you know, in the bigger scheme of things. And then at a certain point, their brands got so watered down that they disappeared. Like, look at, like, a lot of the 90s stuff, where is it, ultimately, you know what I'm saying?
So because talking about the 90s stuff, not to cut you off, just so that I don't forget my thought, it looked like there is a shortage in design. I'm not sure if there's a shortage in designers or there is just a lack of
originality.
Because the 90s fashion was back out. These millennials are appreciating the 90s. I feel cheated as a person that was buying every single pair of Jordans and every color that came out in the 90s.
And killing them and just not just throwing them in the garbage after a while. What if we were to save all of them?
No, but not only that we were throwing them. You know, for me, I was giving some to my brother and whoever else. But we saved some as well, right? It was supposed to. They were coming up as limited edition, you know, and it was supposed to, you know, value something down the line. But somehow, I thought Nike cheated us and started reproducing these same shoes with different colors, and they took away the value of what we purchased in the 90s. What is your take on that?
That's a whole nother part of the game, because I you know, myself, my brother, and my team, we lived that too, because, you know, we had stores. We had 3 different stores in Norwalk. We had one in Atlanta for a while. So we were at the beginning of a lot of that whole, you know, sneaker game. Matter of fact, we did a limited edition sneaker with Reebok that actually got produced through Reebok. You know, I designed it. You know, we did 300 limited pairs that went, you know, internationally. We got 100 pairs. The other 2 got spread out, you know, throughout the world. And that was part of a program that was designed to give, you know, certain brands, you know, exclusive, you know, rights to a sneaker. You know, so since we did our sneaker, it was limited edition, and then that made other, you know, people want to collect that. But then it also sparked your interest more in Reebok. So if you couldn't get our sneaker, then okay, you start buying Reeboks, you know, boom, boom, boom. a lot of Nikes that were coming out during that time, they were limited edition, but they were only limited to the culture. See, the culture, we sort of set the standard for what was limited and what was valued.
Definitely.
Nike didn't know what was going on. They had no idea, right? But once they caught on, they started to pirate that whole, the whole industry by putting out so many because they weren't benefiting from it. You know what I'm saying? They put out a sneaker that's supposed to retail for $75. That's what it's supposed to retail for. But the culture determines that sneaker is worth $500, right?
Right.
Nike's only getting their 75. The aftermarket is what, in the resale market, is what's determining the 500. So that's what made it hot amongst us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But once Nike got wind of it, they're like, oh man, well, we want to put a stop to this pretty much. So they just turn the machine on, and now they start producing it, and then they get other people, Travis Scott or whoever to co-sign a sneaker or whatever, and then now it becomes hot, but it's still separate from the original culture.
It should be legal because we have been, we've been duped, because it's traditional that you buy something that was limited edition. It means limited edition. You pay the price for it because it's going to worth something. Let me tell you something. I'm going to show you this right here. See this right here?
It's Kool-Aid.
40,
That's a Kool-Aid.
Limited edition Hennessy, 44th president of the United States. This thing right here costs you about $3,000 or more if you can find it.
The last show, Kingsley, you said it was $1,500.
The price is going up. Google it. Just Google
going
it.
Up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
It's not today's price. Exactly. April Walker. We had April Walker here, who's the designer for Walker Wear.
Walker, that's my people.
She was supposed to come back to do a full show. She hasn't been back yet, but she was here with a few, with Roxanne Shante and a few other guests. And she talked about how she was hiding behind her design because the industry or the culture was not accepting maybe women being in the forefront. So people just knew of Walker Wear. It was only the industry knew her name as April Walker, who was behind it. What's your take on that?
I mean, once again, it's politics. I mean, especially during that time. I mean, now you probably get more recognition because you are a woman or are a woman. You know what I'm saying? Just things have changed. But especially during that time, I mean, it was par for the course. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially, during that time, even, being a woman and being, a black designer, being, all of that has stigmas with it. Even back then, a lot of black designers, as much as it was hip and we were doing stuff, you still had to break through the wall. It's still, the industry still wasn't as, receptive of what we were doing. That's why but going back to what you were saying before, as far as creativity and all that, that's why it was so fly then, because we was like, we're going to do whatever, forget what y'all have to say. This is what we're going to do. And we're making the culture. See, that's another thing, like people sort of forget, like people think, Gucci and Louis, that's the culture and it's, they make fly designs. No, we took their stuff and made it fly. Dapper Dan made it fly. It wasn't because it was fly. You know what I'm saying? He took the luxury or whatever and then turned it into stuff that we deemed to be fly. And that made it hot. You know what I'm saying? But it still was coming from our culture. You know what I'm saying? So going back to nowadays, now it's sort of watered down because everybody's looking for, the black battery. I got this philosophy called niggerjizers. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like everybody's looking for the black battery to put into their product to make it hip and to make it cool. So now everybody's sort of copying a lot of just stuff that they think is cool instead of really doing stuff that is really cool. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's like people are looking for the things specifically to just make money, to be relevant, to be hot. But as soon as you do that, you watering yourself down. You know what I'm saying? And then it's on to the next. And nothing really has any staying power, And that's sort of what we've been trying to avoid all this time.
It's very easy to be hot these days, too. It's a microwave hot.
Yeah.
I mean, microwave hot. You could be hot with just a button. Boom, and you're hot. You know,
and then you're not with another button. So
your culture can be canceled with another button.
Beat and beat. And I've been trying to avoid that like a plague, man. I'd rather have a strong foundation, a clientele of people that respect the brand and rock on for however long I can than be super hot one year and everybody's wearing it, won't.
Right,
and then the next year nobody wants to touch it because it's whack. You know what I'm saying? So that's the tough thing you wanna avoid. You know.
You got to be Kanye and Dave Chappelle proof, not to be canceled. Because
because once you're done, you're sort of done.
Once you're done. If you haven't shared,
Dave Chappelle's fine, man. Just leave Dave Chappelle's good.
Hold up, Shafiq. If you haven't shared it yet, go ahead. Feel free to do so. This is the Urban Talk Radio 103.5 FM WNHH LP. I am your host, Kingsley Ossei. My co-host, Shafiq, is in the building. And if you are just joining us today on Urban Talk Radio, you can join the conversation on Facebook at Bold Minds and Twitter at Bold Minds. Also on my Facebook page, Kingsley Ossei. You can also stream this show on your smartphone or computer by logging on to newhavenindependent.org. We do have Norwalk, Connecticut's own Jermaine of KULTJAH Designs. He's deep in Bridgeport, but you know what? You always got to let it be known where you're from, even though where you at is where you're getting money. But it never hurts to let it be known where you're from, the people that was there from day one, even though those people give up on you sometimes, or as you get rich, they want to rob you.
It's all love, man. We get it wherever we go. You can love wherever you go. That's my motto.
So who really inspired? Who was there one person that really inspired you, and at what age? Because it looks like you have not been employed by anybody for quite some time now, to my observation, anyway.
No, I've had gigs. Matter of fact, I opened in between. I worked at a furniture store. I worked in I opened the Ralph Lauren in Greenwich. When they opened their flagship store in Greenwich, it closed, recently. But it's a long story. But I sort of got recruited by them.
But that was just recently.
Yeah, they closed recently, but they were there. I think it started opened in 2010 to however many years. But
already.
Yeah, it's been there. But I sort of got recruited by them just from rocking their gear sometime and just being in the mix. So I did that. I do a lot of freelance graphic design stuff, my art stuff, other than clothing.
Before we get into that, who inspired you from the very beginning? Who was the one person?
I think it always goes back to my mother. You know what I'm saying? And it was more so from her just allowing me to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? No, but she supported me.
Okay.
And my ideas of becoming an artist. You know what I'm saying? Because, ultimately the trajectory, I think, of a young black male is not to become an artist. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, if you don't have the proper support, then you may, shy away from things and ideas that you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So by, me and my brother being, involved in hip hop culture and, skateboarding, we were skateboarders and BMX and, doing all that stuff and just being allowed to explore different ideas and concepts, you know what I'm saying? My mom's always supported that. So that gave me the platform to want to become an artist. And, just from that perspective, but as far as inspiration, like I said, it goes back to graffiti, the early writers, Lee, Blade and Quick and Scene and a lot of the Bronx cats that were doing big production pieces back then, Futura 2000, just all the graffiti cats really inspired me. That's me and some of my peoples.
Yes. So by the way, you are also an award recipient of a hip hop expression of Black history.
Yes. I appreciate
the very first one in 2017.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I see you post your award the other day, and I kind of sent you a text message because it was something that I really didn't understand, and I had to get a clarification. And
on my wordplay. Yeah, I got crazy
on your wordplay, and and you clarified it, and I said, look, man, that is what real men do. A lot of time, because of social media, people rush to respond to stuff on social media faster than they can pick up a phone and call somebody and say, "Hey, bro,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have misunderstanding on this. Can you
yeah,
clarify it?" Nobody's
yeah,
doing
definitely.
that.
No, no, and then a lot of people getting their feelings too quick, and they take social media as the end all be all, the ultimate reality. But most of it is an illusion, you know.
And for people that are just listening to the radio, I'm actually showing some pictures of Jermaine and his crew that came and put in some work at a hip hop expression of Black History back in 2017, which included the likes of our special guests. We have Grand Mixer, DXT, DJ Jazzy J, Mr. Wave from B Street, DJ Kool Herc. Skinny Boy just got a key to the city, but before that, we featured them in 2017 because nobody have seen them. The new generation didn't even know who they were, so we had a chance to feature them, and they have performed on that day. And also on this picture that I'm showing you, we have
Julio.
KULTJAH. We have the original DJ Spinderella, Cool DJ Red Alert. KULTJAH was the first MC that ever picked up the phone. Everybody know of DJ Kool Herc, who was the founder of hip hop, but KULTJAH was the first one to pick up the microphone. We have Grand Mixer DXT and DJ Jazzy J. If you guys are not familiar with these names, check out this show later on and Google them. These are pioneers and legends of hip hop that we had opportunity to bring them into the city of Bridgeport City Hall. And yes, I took a lot of beating from some of my own colleagues of from the hip hop industry now in Connecticut. And it's pretty sad that nobody paid a penny to come into that building to witness this historic event. I'm gonna bring this back down. You look on the corner right behind the red banner. It's DJ Ready Red. DJ
It's
Ready
a
Red
different picture up though, King. It's another picture. You got to switch the picture, bro.
Hold up.
Yeah, you got May Dooley, Flan, and Tank up there.
Let me see.
You gotta hit the button. There you go. That was the wrong button though.
Okay. Come up.
Gotta hit the other button.
Okay. Hit which other button?
I don't know. I can't see because.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it and I'm gonna bring it back up.
Not there with you.
Okay, so anyway, DJ Ready Red. DJ Ready Red was it's Ghetto Boys DJ who passed not too long after this event. So when we talk about giving people their flowers, which is what this event was all about. Matter of fact, like I said, I took still not coming up. There we go. I took a beating because I was being told, people were telling me, why are you awarding so many people? Why don't you just award 5? Why don't you just award 6 people? I said, because tomorrow is not promising. And there are so many talents in Connecticut to feature. And I have 15 minutes to do what I'm doing. When I say 15 minutes, it means I'm in a position that will not be there forever. So when it's all said and done, I'm going to be judged based on what did I do with my 15 minutes. And I use my 15 minutes to honor as many people as I can because some of these people, including myself, may not be here tomorrow. And over here in this corner is Ready Red, right here. Ghetto Boys DJ, right here behind the red banner. He passed not too long after this event. So yeah, so that that's what a hip hop expression of Black history was all about. Now, arts and cities. I'm not sure why is it so hard to beautify a city at its minimal by being able to get people such as yourself and just bring your talent and say, hey, there's a garbage can over here. Hey, there is an abandoned building over here. Just do something with it. I remember going to Chicago for a conference, and it was just so much artistic stuff that doesn't look like it costs arm and leg to do. And I see what's going on in Bridgeport, right now. I'm not sure who's it influenced by. I know Razoo is a part of what's going on. Talk to me. Why is it so hard for cities and states to just?
Well, put it like that. I mean, it all comes back to politics.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of what you're talking about, I've been dealing with for years. You know what I'm saying? For years and years. And as you know, I had a gallery right downtown Bridgeport. I had Blends Gallery. We were there, for 2 years. But once again, that was sort of gifted to us. By Tim and the cats at Color Blends. They owned the building. They, got it probably for a steal. It was sitting there empty. Myself, Aisha and Michael J. Clocks, we approached them and was like, this is an empty space, let us activate it and turn it into, a functional gallery. So we did that, like I said, a lot of people were doing a lot of things. You had Roz doing this thing, you had everybody doing their thing. But as far as what we were doing, our main goal was to have that as like an incubator space to show the talents of the city, to hold, different events, to, do gallery shows and all of that stuff. It went off, it was dope. During that time, once again with the whole, beautifying Bridgeport, with Roz and what he's doing. We had the murals downtown when we had the, the Bridgeport Arts Fest. Remember we had, a whole bunch of graffiti murals.
Yep.
A lot of cats came into town, from T-Kid to Bio, the whole Tats crew. It was organic, and it wasn't, part of the whole, bureaucratic system or whatever that was going on.
Right.
Because art a lot of times has to develop organically. You know what I'm saying? Once politics gets involved and who says what is art and whose opinion, what can go where, what can go there, that's when you start to slow the whole thing down. You know what I'm saying? When you have, major cities like Chicago, LA, I go to, Miami for Art Basel, it's just, major cities, a lot of times the majority of that art is happening organically. And now all of a sudden a lot of cities are getting on board with hiring artists and paying them and letting them do stuff. But most of the time it really came out of graffiti and street art and, stuff that people weren't cool with at first. Right. But now it's cool because cities are starting to realize that this is actually making our city look good. And it's attracting people to come to our city because it's giving it a whole different vibe. You know what I'm saying? But up here, especially, like Nog, Bridgeport, a lot of, these cities, they want to be cool, but they don't really want to be cool. You know what I'm saying? So you have to convince certain people. You got to go through different boards and commissions and who says what. And then a lot of times with that, for whatever reason, only certain art pops up. You know what I'm saying? You start to get people that want to almost censor the type of art that goes up. And who does certain art, you know what I'm saying? So it's cool to have, just some big whatever. But if you have something that has a little bit of, too much political edge, or it might be a little bit too offensive to certain people, right, then they're not, they're quick to censor a lot of the art that happens. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of that's going on.
I'm very familiar with what you're talking about because when I was creating the first logo of a hip hop expression of Black history, it was a mic, a fist. It was a fist, and the fist was a mic. And I had a clash with I had a clash where I was being told that kids may perceive that as violence. I said, well, that's your perception versus the founder of this event. Who is really the culture that he's living. I'm like, you can't water this thing down. What I'm doing is not to be watered down. I understand I'm bringing it into a glass building. However, I'm trying to bring this organic event into a glass building. I said, embrace it now, because guess what? If we open this door, this thing is going to be imitated around the country. Surely enough, I'm seeing hip-hop events around New York and New Jersey with citations being given to artists, and these are people that came to our event and went to New York and said, you know what? We got to do what they're doing. And I said it over and over when I was doing this event. I said, we are being the first to do this event at the City Hall, and trust me, it's going to be imitated. Now, let me bring you back to that mic. That mic was a fist of, it's basically saying that, hey, we are used to fighting. Yeah. So this knuckle that you are interpreting as violence is a mic. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that people such as yourself and the millennials, you get into politics. You don't have to put your head into politics, but you have to surround yourself and understand how politics work, because it's career politicians who have no idea of everything that you talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know, you have to convince them, but it will even be less of convincing if we can get the millennials such as yourself, or not such as yourself, but the millennials to really be the ones getting in with people such as yourself to easily sell what you have to them without all that.
Without
way or no way.
Exactly, because you have a lot of people that aren't in touch with our culture, and that for whatever reason are threatened by things that we take as the norm. I mean, to see that fist, why is it automatically that you're interpreting that as something that's violent, as something that's empowering? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it becomes whose discretion are these decisions up to? You know what I'm saying? And who's in those positions? And a lot of times, like I said, when it comes even down to the arts, and then what is public art and what public art gets co-signed, you got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it becomes watered down. You know, I mean, I went through a situation where, you know, I had to deal with that with some people from the city of Bridgeport. You know, we did a project that was through Project Unload, which was, you know, art discussions, you know, about gun violence through the arts. You know, and we did a project with the kids, you know, from Bridgeport. We had, you know, people from neighborhood studios in Bridgeport, and kids from Bridgeport that created murals that expressed how they felt about gun violence. You know what I'm saying? And this is directly coming.
Suzanne, was Suzanne a part of that?
She was involved in it, but on the low, no comment. She was involved in it. But you know, after these kids created the actual murals, and it was time for them to go up on the side of the gallery that I was curating at the time, word got back to the city that, you know, these murals are going up and they you know, they might be offensive to some people, whoever in the city, then we don't want to put them up. But these are the kids' honest feelings and how they feel about addressing gun violence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So then it became, once again, somebody else's discretion as to what is art, where art should go, and who should say what. That how are you going to represent the community?
Sometimes you got to take the politics out of letting the kids express themselves, man. You know,
and express themselves.
Is the program that I did with Career Resource called a hip hop called Preventing Violence Through Visual Media, where we bought cameras and, you know, gave it to the kids and told them to just go into your community and take pictures of what you see around you, you know,
of what you see,
what you see, so we could create a book out of it. You know, this is not us trying to tell them, draw this, take a picture of that, take a picture of that. You go out there and you take a picture of what you see. I don't care if it's a picture of a crackhead. You are giving us the real deal of what it is that you see.
Exactly. You know? and it should not be censored. And this is what these kids are dealing with. And as adults, we have to figure out a way to help them deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just going back to what you're saying, it's a lot of politics, but I think, you know, things are being ironed out, you know, because most cities, I think, are really seeing how the arts are really revitalizing their landscape, you know.
So you have an event coming up, and we need to talk about it. The holiday vibes pop up.
We got a couple different events. I also want to plug. I don't know if you have the flyer for that, but tomorrow, my man Dale Smith, we're doing an event at the Wall Street Theater.
Yes, I do. Big shout out to Dale. It's right here.
Yeah, that's my dude. He's doing a lot of good stuff. So we're doing that event. You know, it's a fundraiser, like a holiday shopping thing. A lot of, you know, local vendors, plus give back for the kids, jackets, and, you know, book bags and stuff like that. So that's happening tomorrow. And then this particular event is happening on the 16th.
Before you touch on that other event, big shout out to Dale. Dale Smith used to work in the music industry. Another friend I've known from Norwalk for a very long time. He have an organization called Keep Pushing. So because I knew that you was coming up, you know, I downloaded the flyer, you know, to give him some plug on it. So again, he's got an event called A Miracle on Wall Street Shopping Spectacular Community Holiday Shopping Event, December 9th, 5 p.m., 9 p.m. Over 35 vendors, children's toy raffle, free haircuts for kids 12 and under. For vendor registration info, please contact Dale Smith at DAMIRDALECS@gmail.com. It's happening on Wall Street Theater, 71 Wall Street. All right, so go ahead. Let's talk about
Okay.
the
Okay.
holiday
Yeah.
party.
So then, yeah, this is another event that we put together. My people at Cafe Social. It's a dope little spot, breakfast spot, breakfast, brunch spot in Norwalk. Once again, just something to do for the people. Myself, my people from Coco Lilies. They have a lot of know,
Are you freezing?
very, very, very high quality stuff. Dirty Jerk, my man, Jay, he creates his own jerk sauce, on natural.
You are breaking. You are breaking.
He's gonna be there, and then my brother John Group 7 is gonna be there spinning. So look, yeah.
You are breaking. You are breaking. Now, by the way, you did say John was your partner of our culture. And people may not know who John is, but you or know him as DJ Group 7. Shafiq, you want to chime in? He looked like he's what's going on with the our scene? I know your daughter is in the it's in that
she's
mix.
She's in Colac. She's in Colac right now. She in Colac. She's trying to get some I guess you would say some infused art from her ancestors, from our ancestors, Kingsley. You know what I'm saying? So she went down to Senegal. She'll be there for a while.
Oh, she's in Senegal?
She's in Senegal, brother.
Okay.
Yes. We travel, Kingsley.
Nah, I told you to hit me up. I told you I have.
No, you don't care about me.
I told you my brother Akon is out there. My brother.
You don't care about me, man.
My brother.
So I'm not your brother now. I'm not your brother.
I told you my brother Shaku is over there. So
I'm about ready to get African name.
Harry just told us that we gotta sign off soon. So let Jermaine finish giving his plug.
Go, Jermaine.
I'm back. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can hear you. Keep freezing.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you frozen up, but if you could hear me, so the Cafe Social event is the 16th. It's like a little after work, pop up mixer. Will be food and specialty drinks. Come out and holler at us.
All right, and then before we sign off, I have to give a happy birthday shout to. I have to give a happy birthday shout to my brother, Dr. Dre. Hold up, why am I not getting this? I have to give a happy birthday shout to my brother, Dr. Dre of Yo MTV Rap, and also congratulations to Ralph McDaniels, Uncle Ralph of Video Music Box. New documentary he came up with from Showtime, which was executive produced and also co-directed by my man Nas. Shafiq, if you haven't, you got to go check it out. It's a documentary on our Video Music Box.
Is it on Amazon Prime? Is it on Amazon Prime?
It's on Showtime.
I got Showtime. Showtime.
I just spoke to Uncle Ralph last night. Invited him to the show. He said, I got us on hold in case he doesn't go to Drink Champs on next Wednesday. Then he will show up. I told him that I pray that you get a chance to go to Drink Champs. Always be here. It's a bigger platform. Yeah, definitely. You got to support that. So Jermaine, so you want to give our youth words of inspiration and how you can be reached?
I think he froze up. Running for him. Oh, there he is. He disappearing like shape shifting.
This is the Urban Talk Radio 103.5 FM WNHH. I am your host Kingsley Ossei, and if you are just joining us in the last part of our show, you can follow the conversation on Facebook at Bold Minds and Twitter at Bold Minds and Kingsley Ossei. You can also stream this show and previous shows on your smartphone or computer by logging on to newhavenindependent.org. Thank you for joining us. Remember, Urban Talk Radio airs every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Jermaine, you want to tell us how you can be reached? All right, Harry, we're losing Jermaine.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Let us know how you can.
All right, I don't know.
Let's know how you can be reached.
Oh,
so
you
we signing off.
Okay, you can check me out at KULTJAH, KULTJAH.com and artofjermaine.com.
Right. Thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. We will see you again.
No doubt. I appreciate you, Kingsley.
Anytime, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
Power to the people.
No, power to me.
Power to Kingsley.
And Shafiq, you better be calling me back too, man.
You better be calling me back, man.
You better be calling me back.
Do you love me? Do you love me?
Don't let me. Don't make me have to get
tell
violent
people on
with
the
that
radio
fist
that you
mic.
love me.
I will get violent with that fist mic.
Listen, man. You tell the people on the radio you love me and on national radio.
Of course, it's all love.
All right, okay. Then maybe I'll call you.
Love is art. Art is love.
I think I'll call you back then.
I can't have one of the world's greatest artists on the show and not love you.
Okay, all right. Just make sure.
Harry, what's our music? We can't hear music. Oh man, I gave Harry this nice.
It was nice. It was a nice
soundtrack to the show, and I can't even hear no music, Harry. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, you know how hard I died for that music.
Yeah, Harry.
I had people hitting me up like, "Yo, Kingsley, what is that music? What's that music?" Man,
I can't hear it.
Oh, Harry.
I tried to get it. I tried to get it on my thing, but I couldn't.
Oh man, that is that "Make America Great Again" attitude, man. That is that MAGA attitude, man. Harry, why you doing this to me?
Yeah, come on now.
Harry,
Dude, that's dirty.
Oh, Harry did his dirty, son. Harry.
Got a nice cover though.
Oh no, he hooked me up with the cover. He said he was very busy. So
there you go. Took a while.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. Okay.
I tried
to post the link.
Hey.
The Kingsley, I tried to post the link. It wouldn't upload on Facebook.
That's just Zanzibar music right there.
Where's Zanzibar at?
Zanzibar used to be in New York. That's
Jersey.
No, Zanzibar.
I mean Jersey. Old
Zanzibar. Zanzibar. It's not New York, man. It's in Africa.
Yeah, the original.
It's in Tanzania.
Zanzibar.
It's in Tanzania, man.
You never even been to Bentley's, man. You missed
it. It's in Tanzania. What am I gonna do with you, man? All right, till next week.
All right, peace, fellas.
All right. Harry said bye. Bye.
All right, Harry. Thanks, bro. Big shout out to our producer, Harry.